5 tips to help sell your home quickly. Tip number 1, declutter. Take down all the pictures that you don't need. If it's something that you don't absolutely have to live in your home, go ahead and put it in storage. Put it in utility building, rent you a pod, whatever you need to do. But if it's something that you don't absolutely essentially need, go ahead and get rid of it. The less that you have in the house, the better off you're going to be when a new buyer comes in. A buyer's whole prerogative is to come in there and look and see if they can see themselves living in your home. So if you got a whole bunch of pictures from the wedding or from the graduation or whatever, I understand it's your house, but go ahead and take the steps to take those down. It's going to help you in the long run. People come in and they can see your entire life inside your house and they can't picture themselves living in your home. So tip number 1 would surely be to declutter. Tip number 2, curb appeal. You want to make sure that when someone pulls up to your home that it's just got the wow factor. And the wow factor doesn't cost a lot of money. You just want to make sure that there's no weeds in the beds and maybe some fresh mulch or pine straw if you have that around your house, or maybe some fresh plant flowers. You can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, to the nursery, and you can find some pretty good plants pretty cheap, and it does give it color, and it does give it a more attractive curb appeal when people pull up to your house. You don't know how many times we've had people pull up to a house and just from the outside, whether it being dingy, not being washed, shutters not being painted, the beds are a mess, the grass is high, just say, I'm not interested, and drive on. It does happen, it happens a lot. But if you can go out there and rent a pressure washer, borrow a pressure washer, hit the shutters with some new paint, it's going to go a long way when people first pull up. Step number 3 is going to be small repairs. Leaky faucets, nail holes, stuff of that matter. You don't think about it because you live there and you see it all the time, but if you take all those pictures down that we talked about in step number 1, then you're probably going to have nail holes in the wall. So my recommendation is don't go and paint a whole room unless you absolutely have to. And if you're going to do that, make sure you paint it a neutral color so that a new buyer, when they come in, doesn't get overwhelmed with seeing something bright pink, stuff like that. Nothing wrong with those colors, it's just that neutral colors tend to be neutral and people can go in there and paint whatever they want when it becomes their home. But the main objective is to let those people come in and say, yeah, I think I could live in your house. Leaky faucets, see it 100 times on home inspections all the time, and buyers always ask for plumbing and electrical issues to be fixed. That's something that you can do on your own before you ever put your house on the market. If you know you got a flapper on your toilet that leaks, go on to the local home store, home hardware store, and go ahead and buy a new flapper. They're a couple bucks, and it'll save you a lot of trouble down the road, because once you get an offer on your home and it becomes a contract, then the home inspector will go out there on the buyer's behalf and they will write it up. And I'm going to go and tell you, 9 times out of 10, if you're my buyer, I'm going to ask you to allow me to write on the repair request that a licensed professional fix that, so it's not a concern for a buyer any longer. So I tell my sellers the same thing. Before I come in, if you know there's stuff wrong, go ahead and take care of it. Now if it's major, you're going to have to put that on your disclosure. But if it's not, small repairs take you a weekend, maybe 2. Sometimes people ask me to come over and I'll go through and put sticky notes on the walls, and we'll say this is what needs to be done on this wall in this room, and that helps them out too. So just go ahead and get that part done, and then you won't have to worry about it down the road. Number 4 is probably one of my pet peeves. Clean your house. Clean the smells. I can't handle smells. I'm not good with smells. just sometimes, and you can't do anything about it. So just clean your house. Make sure it doesn't smell. A lot of people keep pets in the house. I have a dog in my house, so I understand. She's part of the family. She's my baby. But I think every pet owner can be nose blind when it's your pet. So just make sure you go ahead and take care of those smells. It don't matter how magnificent your house looks. I showed one a couple weeks ago. Beautiful house when we got in there, but it stank. And that was all those buyers could remember, was the house stank the entire time we was there. So when you're going through doing your repairs, go ahead and maybe you need to hire somebody to come in and help clean it. Maybe you need to get some carpet professionals coming in there and shampoo the carpets, whatever. But ask your friend, ask your family to come in and be honest with you and tell you, hey, can you smell anything? Because buyers are going to tell me if they can smell it, and I tell you, I smelled some rank stuff. So just clean your house, keep your toilet lids down, keep your laundry put up. I've been in and seen dirty laundry all over the floor, and then of course that's all the buyers can remember. Oh, I seen underwear on the doorknob. Ha ha ha. We don't need all that. You're wanting to sell your house. You don't want to own your house anymore. So keep it clean. Number 5. This is probably the most important part of these get it sold quick tips. Price it right. I don't care what Zillow or Trulia say about your house. Your real estate professional is going to know what has sold in your area for the last 12 months. And they're going to be able to pull those up, and they're going to be able to compare your house to that house if your realtor is a professional. Zillow does not give a good zestimate as to what your house is worth. And of course, everyone's going to think they've got gold in their walls. I think mine's got gold in them too. So when you get ready to price it, you need someone to give you a non-biased opinion on the price. That's going to be the driving factor behind whether or not people are going to actually come to your house once they see it in the MLS, if you've already followed the rest of these tips. So just make sure that when you and your realtor sit down and have that discussion of what you're going to ask for your house, that you go ahead and tell him what you realistically think your house can sell for, and then he or she's going to tell you, well, this is what the last however many in your neighborhood have sold for. So it'll help you and it'll help them to know what the realistic ambitions for you as a seller will be. Alright, got just a few more factors for you to remember. Some things you can change, some things you can't. Factors are location. If your house is you can't change the location of your house. I mean, you can, but it's going to cost you a whole lot more than just leaving it there. So just remember, when you're pricing, location is going to factor into the price. If you've got the same floor plan on one side of town versus the other side of town, and things are selling for $50,000 more on the other side of town, it's the location. There's nothing wrong with your house. It's just people on the other side of town are willing to pay more. That's part of the logistics of real estate. So just keep that in mind when you're pricing your home. Another thing to keep in mind is you don't want your house anymore. As soon as you get in the mindset that you don't want it anymore, you want to move, you'll sell your house. I've had numerous sellers, once they decided they wanted to sell, their house sold. And if you've never been in that situation, then it's hard for me to explain. But if I call and give you feedback and say, well, this agent and this buyer said this, and you complain the whole time about the feedback I'm giving you, you're probably not ready to sell your house. I'm not telling it to you to be negative. I'm telling it to you to help improve the chances of your sale. The market is hot right now in Anderson. Market may be hot wherever you're at, but right now, just listen to your realtor on the price, and they're going to get you the most they can for it. That's their job. Alright, so until we do this again, y'all have fun. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. I guess it's down on the right hand side. Y'all have fun.